Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to discuss detection of signals in a noise. So the ability of the radar receiver to detect a weak signal is limited by noises. And noise what it does, which occupies the same part of the frequency spectrum as the signal. So this is the one of the drawback in the radar system. And we are going to define one more term, that is a minimum detectable signal. The minimum detectable signal, which means the weakest signal that can be just detected by the radar receiver. It is called minimum detectable signal and it is denoted as a S-min in the simple form of radar. And use of S-min is not a common in a radar and it is not a prepared method for describing the ability of the radar receiver. So for that we need to take different methods. So here we have an method and that is going to use for detecting the signals. So and this method is called as thresholding method, or we are going to establishing some thresholds here. So this is the graph of this thresholding method, and we have along x-axis we have time and along y-axis we have voltages, and we have two levels here, that is one is RMS value of noise and here it is threshold level. This is upper one is threshold level and below one is RMS value of the noise. And here we have consider some alphabets A, B, C, and these alphabets are the amplitude of the target echoes, and the amplitudes those do not have the alphabets, those are what noises. And in this type of method, if the radar output or if the receiver output is large enough to exceed the threshold level, at that time a target is said to be present. Here what is happening, this amplitude A is crossing the thresholding level, which means we can say at that time the target is present. Here also in B, what is happening, it is just touching the threshold level, at that time also we can say the target is said to be present. Whereas in C it is not touching the threshold level, which means we are going to consider this as a noise. So for that, if the radar receiver output is not sufficient amplitude to cross the threshold level, at that time we can say only noise is said to be present. So when a large echo signal from a target is present as at A in the figure, and it can be recognized on the basis of its amplitude related to the RMS noise level. So if the threshold level is set properly, so if you set a threshold level properly, the receiver output should not normally exceed the threshold if noise alone were present. What has to be happen here, so if if we set a threshold properly, the output of the radar receiver should not crosses the threshold level if noise is present. These all are noise, okay, but the output should be exceed the threshold level if a strong target echo signal were present along with the noise. So here what is happening, this signal contaminating both noise as well as target echo. So for that time, so what has to be happen, we have to set a threshold level such a way that if the noise is present, it should not exceeds the threshold level. If the target is present along with the noise, at that time it should exceeds the threshold level. So and we are going to define two terms, one is false alarm, another one is missed alarm. We will see what is false alarm. If the threshold level were set too low, if I set this threshold level here, there is too low, which means a noise might it is what noise, a noise might exceeds a threshold level, and mistakenly we are going to consider it as also a target, and this is called as a false alarm. And next one more term, that is missed detection. If the if we set this threshold level too high, which means if I take here, what will happen? So here what will happen, a high noise might not be large enough to cause a false alarm, but echo or a weak target echoes might not exceed the threshold and would not be detected. When this occur, it is called as missed detection. What will happen if I set threshold level too high? So these all are noise, these all are what targets here, but if I set threshold level here, these targets will not touches or will not exceeds the threshold. So at that time also we are going to consider these as a noise. Okay, A and B are the noise, so it is not, it is what mistaken or missed, the targets are missing here. So like that, we need to set a threshold properly. So we can use this method for detecting the signals in a noise.